Hello, welcome to In Gear Media Podcast, and this is your host Daniel, and got producer Michael.
Mr. Producer over here.
That's right.
Yeah, how's it going, man?
Good. How have you been?
Good. Just I've spent a little bit of time away from cars lately, but hopefully getting back into it. This podcast is kind of like putting one foot back into the room, if
Definitely.
you will. Yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited to get this started, man.
I'm excited for you. You're back in it.
I'm excited for the podcast. Like,
me too.
Yeah, we got some cool stuff planned.
Definitely.
So.
Got some reviews planned too as well.
That's always fun.
Yep. Can't wait for you to get in those cars.
With that being said, do you want to do introductions?
Let's do introductions,
For those who don't know who we might be.
Go ahead. You can go ahead and start.
Okay, my name is Michael Gallardo. I have been in the car community for quite a while now, probably over 10 years. I grew up a bit in it as far as the drag racing scene goes. I was always kind of a part of that. My dad was really into drag racing. Worked for a couple teams. And, just growing up watching a lot of like F1 and rally racing, just everything you can think of. And then I kind of was away from cars for a while, and I got back into it once I was able to drive and had a driver's license. It just sparked my love for cars again and driving. And the past couple of years have been kind of slow, but before that, I worked for a company you might know called Alpha Lux.
Yep.
Shout out to Alpha Lux. Good friend. But yeah, he hired me to write and to review cars, write some articles. Got to go on some cool little trips here and there and have a lot of fun, man. And you're a part of that as well.
Oh yeah, I was right there with you the whole time. It was fun.
So tell the audience about yourself.
So for me, I started with cars actually because of you. You got me into that. I think our first one was Cars and Coffee Irvine, if I remember that correctly.
And for those who don't know, we're brothers.
Yes.
Surprise. I'm pretty sure most people who are watching this right now probably know that. But
yeah, especially our first podcast.
Yes.
Yeah. But I did Cars and Coffee Irvine, and ever since then, kind of just you taking me constantly to the car shows definitely helped, for sure. But
man, I miss Cars and Coffee Irvine.
Oh, that was the shit, man. I loved it.
Yeah.
That was
really was.
One car show that'll never be replaced by anything else. Yeah, no matter how hard anyone tries.
Nothing will come close.
Yeah. So
there's a lot of good stuff out there, but just the vibes and the magnitude, especially towards the end. I mean, it was out of hand.
Oh, it was ridiculous. What he had cars piled up all the way to the freeway.
Yeah.
That was insane.
Yeah, literally was causing accidents. You say piled up. I think it actually had caused a few accidents, which is part of the reason they shut it down.
Yeah, you're probably right about that.
Yeah. A couple of rear ends.
Yep. I think, and then from there, I just had my little Samsung phone, and I was taking pictures. And I think one day we were actually at our friend Obeda's event at Evan Paul, and that's when we figured out that I wanted to be a photographer.
Yes.
I remember it to the T.
I remember you taking pictures of my Challenger. I had an RT at the time.
Yes.
And I remember you took a picture of Ray, his GT. Was it his GT500? Is that what he had back then?
I believe it was his GT500.
Yeah, I remember.
The black one?
Yeah, the black one. You took a picture of, I believe it was Ray's car. Yeah. But yeah, it's so random.
No,
but.
You know whose car you're thinking of? Was it the rolling shot?
No, it was we were like pulled off on the side of a road somewhere.
Okay, you're probably
on the
right
route.
Then, yeah.
But I remember it was I want to say OB drive,
but it was OB's
it was
drive.
Technically Evan Paul, but it was.
We know who it really was.
Yeah, OB. Shout out to OB.
Yeah.
He set it up.
Yep. Yep.
One of the best organizers of drives in the OC, probably in all of SoCal.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, Obeda had some fun drives back in the day.
Definitely.
Still does, I'm sure. I don't know. I'm not around. But.
Yeah. I think maybe he'll start planning some more ever since he got that dealership. Now he has a place to do them at. So
yeah.
That's good. Shout out to Obeda for that.
OBZU. Yeah. Go buy some McLarens, or I don't know, what do they have, McLarens there?
Yeah, he has a set. Well, they just sold the Z06. The Z06 he bought and took on a rally.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, he took it on Fuel Run Las Vegas, Midnight Run.
Nice.
He took it on that, and then he sold it.
Nice.
But getting back to my thing, photography. That you bought me my first camera.
I did, yeah.
So that was the Canon,
the T6i, right?
The T6i, yes. Yeah, so that was great until I, of course, had to upgrade. 5D Mark III.
Of course.
Still rocking that. Bought it off someone off OfferUp, and you know what? It's still shooting. Literally.
Pretty sure that guy was homeless too.
I am very sure of it, but you know what? For $800 for a Canon
that was a steal.
5D, yeah. I think I robbed him, but yeah, it's okay.
There's some debates.
Yeah, definitely a lot of debates actually. Yeah.
So what's the plan as far as photography goes? You
Photography wise, since I obviously was with you and on Alpha Lux, so that was fun, and that's what I kind of want to replicate, but with my own way of doing it, because they didn't Alpha Lux didn't do podcasts or anything like that. We were more just for YouTube videos and articles.
Yeah,
so
it was a little more traditional, I would say.
And I liked that. Yeah,
it was cool. It was definitely a lot of fun, and you look at things different from how like a lot of other people do things, because everyone kind of has their own way of doing media.
Yes,
these days, and I think it was cool. Like Alpha Lux was very like article driven, which is you don't find that a lot nowadays. A lot of the bigger companies do, but a lot of the smaller form, social media driven companies aren't as focused on the writing as much as the cinematography, photography, that kind of thing.
For sure.
But yeah, I think what we're doing here with In Gear is going to be pretty cool, man. I think it's just like we're taking all the bits of everything that we've learned and putting together something that we think is cool, something that we would want to pay attention to and read and watch, and like we were talking about earlier before the podcast started. There's really no good car podcasts out there, in my opinion. There are some that are watchable, or listenable, but in my opinion, there's none that are like, up there as far as like if you look at any other, hobby or classification, any genre, everyone kind of has their Joe Rogan in a sense. You can argue that Matt Farah's podcast is kind of that in the car world, but
I'd say it is.
Yeah,
something along those lines. Yeah,
but really, like, there's not a lot of options out there. There's some good ones, but like, they're a lot smaller, so you don't get as many cool guests.
Yeah.
Shout out to Tanasi. Our boy Tanasi has a podcast.
Yes, he does.
God, I forget the name of it, but yeah,
we'll plug it. We'll plug it in the description.
In the description for sure. But yeah, I think it's just fun to start our own and do things the way we want to do them.
I agree with that. Yeah, and especially with the guests that we have planned, I think there'll be some interesting ones.
For sure.
Diversity. That's one word that I can say.
Yeah.
Diversity is going to be huge with our podcast.
I'm Mexican, so is this a diversity hire here?
I think so. Yeah, we needed some color.
Okay. Well, we actually do. Oh, I was gonna say we need some white guys, but we have Daniel. So
Daniel will be here next time.
Daniel B.
Shout
out to Danny Beverage.
Shout out to the 71 Freeway that took his tire. That's why he is not able to come.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah, sucks.
Yeah,
I know the feeling.
Next time, hopefully, Daniel.
Yes.
I know you're going to be listening.
All right. So, do you want to get into our first topic?
Yeah. So C8 Z06. Where is the Nurburgring test?
Glad you brought that up. That is perfect because, when did we see the C7? The C7s come out with their It wasn't that long after they produced them and got them out on the road.
I remember the C7, the base C7 was a big deal that they were using the Nurburgring to test it. And I remember even previous to that, the C6ZR1 was like destroying lap times. And that was a big deal. But for some reason, when the Z06 came out, it was very hush-hush. And then Chevy was more focused on like the ZL1 1LE lap times. And it was really strange to me because like, if you're coming out with something that's supposed to be better than the previous generation and the previous iteration of that generation, shouldn't there be a real, universal marker of improvement? There's no. You can measure horsepower all day, but in reality, like as we saw, which the whole reason they went to the C8 platform was they had maximized what they can do with the front engine rear-wheel drive platform. So I think, to be honest with you, as much as I love Corvettes and I love Chevy, I mean, I'm a diehard Corvette guy, you know that.
Right.
But I think maybe the times are just disappointing, and they don't want to put them out there because there's so much competition right now. And like, also to be honest, like, a lot of the testing went downhill once there was more safety requirements. We saw a lot of weird. You know, I think Lamborghini had spliced together videos because they had sector times. So they had faster when the Performante came out. They had different sectors. So a lot of people were arguing, well, that's not a real Nurburgring lap time.
No.
Because you're just taking the best of each lap.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah, that's not. How could you throw that on the brochure when that's not real? That's not a reality. You know. But then again, you see, like, I remember seeing guys in stock, like 2008 C8 Z06s running faster times than what they advertised, and they're like basically bone stock, you know. So I mean, it just depends. There's only so much testing you can do without putting drivers at risk, and you know, there's so much time you can actually rent out the space, the entire Nurburgring, because like it's a city. It's not just a track. Like people. There's like school buses and shit.
Really? Okay,
yeah,
I haven't seen that. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's a little town. The Nürburgring's a little town, essentially. So, like, a lot of times, all these clips you see of cars, you know, doing crazy laps on there is basically, they call it a tourist day. So they allow tourists, and there's certain sections that have speed limits, but most of it is you can pretty much go balls out. From what I've been told, I don't know. I've never been there, so sue me, but from what my understanding is that, like, there's only very few times a year where you can, as a manufacturer or as a private party, rent the entire thing out.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
I didn't know they had to rent them out. I thought it was kind of like you were saying, a dealership day or something like that, or something that.
Yeah, that's not very common.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think that could be part of the reason. Also, just if it's not like a whole second faster than their nearest competitor, which in reality they're not. There's not a lot at that level to compare to. The Viper's non-existent. A lot of the muscle car GT500, that kind of thing, is technically not on that level yet, as far as, you know, price point and what we expect from a dedicated sports car. But it's also not in supercar territory either. It's unfair to, you know, McLaren GT or like anything like that to compare it to that.
Yeah,
because you're spending another at least $60,000.
At least,
probably more.
If you don't apply all the
for an entry level supercar.
Yeah, if you don't apply all the specifications that come with it. I mean,
right, and I mean you can spec a C8 Z06 to 150 plus.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. I did it. I don't have the money, but I did it. It's ridiculous. Yeah, there's some pretty crazy stuff. But and you know what you talked about the times. Maybe they've been seeing competitors' times. I think that could be true because look at the GT3 RS. It just came out, and that thing, I'm curious to see. That's another car that I'm curious to see the times on. I don't know if there's times on it already, but I'll look that up right now. But I really don't think the C8 would be able to beat Porsche this time. I don't think Chevy would be able to do it this time around. I could be wrong. You know,
the thing is, in my opinion, it's kind of ridiculous that people expect it to compete. Because you're talking about a $300,000+ supercar, established car that's been on this essentially the same platform for, you know, half a century. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's like all they've done is refine and refine and refine, and the C8's a brand new platform. Mm-hmm. Essentially, and it's weird that like people want to compare the two. They're apples and oranges in my opinion.
It's very hard.
And it's like it's almost more than, you know, twice, 3 times the price. And I mean, granted, none of the C8s are selling its sticker right now.
God no,
anywhere.
Not anytime soon.
Neither are Porsches.
No, but that's the thing is people will buy the Porsche because it's a Porsche. They don't know what the time's going to be, especially if they're not that into cars. If they have the money, they're going to buy it. Corvette, it's just like...
I remember hearing a stat like 80%, or I think maybe more than that, of GT3 owners don't track their cars. And it's like, oh, that just hurts.
yeah, that that sucks because of the fact that that's what the car's built for.
Yeah.
So when you think about it, it's like, well, why aren't you using? What are you doing? Going to get coffee?
It's like buying a convertible, a Turbo S cab or something, and never dropping the top.
Oh,
Why would you buy the convertible? Just get the coupe.
yeah. Well, like, I wonder what the price. That's a good. That's a good question. Is I wonder what the price difference is for the coupes and the convertibles, because it's like, how much are you really paying extra?
I think it's like 20K more, but still, like, if you're never gonna track the car,
enjoy it.
Get a Carrera 4S. God, those things are fast and they're
you
fun.
love those.
Yeah, 4S, dude. For the street, if you need anything faster than a 4S, I mean, you should be in jail, and I probably should.
Oh, definitely. I think a lot of people should for some of the cars that they drive. I'm just like, what?
Yeah,
They're driving on the
most
street?
people aren't going to get out of the GT3 what it's meant for.
No,
and that's
definitely
okay. Like, not everyone has to be a race car driver, but take it to the track, man.
Yeah. Well, like you when you had the GT350.
Yeah.
Like I think that was the only car that I've seen you track that much.
Yeah.
You tracked it a lot.
Yeah, a couple times. I mean, when I had time to.
That's good
I wish
for
I could
you,
track
though.
it like at least once a month, but
Well, for someone with your schedule, the tracking that you did was pretty good.
Yeah, for sure.
And with the overheating. Because, 2017? It was
a 2016.
2016, okay.
So for those of you who don't know, if you plan on tracking a GT350, buy a track pack. It must be a track pack if it's 2016. After 2017, you can buy the tech pack. It doesn't matter. Billy Johnson informed me of this during the track day, the first time I took it to the track.
That's fun.
And I was like, I only got 5 laps out of it, and it's going into limp mode. And he's like, oh, you have a tech pack. I was like, yeah, and? He's like, oh, that doesn't have the diff cooler.
Oh, man.
And then I remember looking into, like, adding the diff cooler, and essentially everyone in the forums, the Shelby forums, was just like, just traded it in for a track pack.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. It's easier to add the infotainment system from the tech pack than it is to add the trans cooler or the diff cooler.
Wow,
from
that's
the track
crazy.
pack. Yeah,
and it makes sense now why everyone owns the new 350Rs and 500s.
Yeah,
because they don't have those issues.
Yeah, so they don't. They're bulletproof, these new ones.
Yeah. Okay. By the way, let's rolling back to the GT3 RS. I found the timeout for that.
What's the time?
What are your thoughts on it? What are you gonna say?
What, like my assumption?
Yeah. What are you gonna say?
It's got to be in the low 650s.
Yeah, that's pretty close. It's 649.328.
Yeah, that's impressive for a naturally aspirated car.
Yeah,
that's extremely impressive.
I believe the Z06 did like 705 or 706. The C7.
The C7 Z06.
The C7 Z06.
Are you sure?
I believe so. Let me double check. But either way,
I heard that the Z06 never got a full lap time because it was overheating, which is why they made the ZR1. Or they made the ZR1 the way they made it with like the 4 intercoolers and all that crazy shit.
Yeah, because that was a lot.
They made the car so much heavier from all the cooling.
I feel like that C7 out of the 3 C7s is definitely the heaviest. Like, it has to be. I haven't looked at the specs on.
Yeah, the ZR1's the heaviest one.
That would make sense.
It is, for sure.
It just looks heavier. When you look at it and you look at like C7 Z06 next to it, aside from all the aero.
I want to say it was like 3,600. Which is heavy for a vet.
That's very heavy. Because what's your C5?
Oh, my C5 is it's FRC, so it's like 3,150. Yeah, 3,100, a little over 3,100, I think.
Okay, my bad on the time. C7 Z06 was 713.
Yeah, which is pretty much the same time as the C6 ZR1.
Really? You know what? That sounds about right.
I think the C6 ZR1 had a 709 or 710.
Yeah, you're probably right about that. Let me see. Let's see. That's a good one because the C7 Z06, I mean the ZR1, the C6 ZR1 was the Corvette. Like, everyone knew that. Like, if you didn't know that, like, you were living under a rock.
It's the king, man. It's the king of vets.
But the C7 didn't have that same effect, or was it just me? But I don't feel like it
I don't feel like it did.
It wasn't the king of the C7s, I don't think.
Like, statistically it was, but
yes,
I don't feel like people went as apeshit over it.
You know what I feel like? I think people went crazier over the C7 Z06 over the ZR1.
Yeah, the Z06, when the C7 Z06 came out, it was a big deal.
So, yeah, 719 for the C6 ZR1.
719.
What was the time?
That was the 09. And then I think they updated the tires in 2011 and went again and ran a faster time.
Okay.
You could look that up. I could be wrong on that.
Because the C6 Z06 2012 came out at a 722.
Yeah, which is fast as shit.
Yeah. That's...
For a naturally aspirated car?
That's insane.
Fast.
And then the ZR1 with the massive supercharger.
The ZR1 had over 100 more horsepower.
That's insane.
And carbon ceramic brakes, mag ride. The original Z06 didn't have mag ride.
Well, that's perfect. For
Only the
Nurburgring.
carbon pack had those.
Damn. That's insane.
Yeah, it's a huge jump for not a lot of time made up.
Look at how far we've come from 2012 to now.
Check out if there's either 2011 or 2012 ZR1 record, because I know the 09 was like significantly slower. Like I want to say like 8 or 10 seconds slower.
The 2012 was a 719 for the ZR1. So you want to see 2011?
Okay. No, look at the 2009. It was slower.
Okay.
It was like it might have been like 730 or something. Because I think that's the year.
726. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh wait. Yeah, because the GTR had lapped that at 729, and then
it beat the 09 GTR.
Yes, it did. Yeah, Chevy came in with the 726 after that. So yeah.
And at the time, everyone was mind blown by the GTR.
Yeah. And then Corvette comes out and says, "Oh, we don't need a big wing.
Its ass.
You know, we don't need all this aero. Like, throw a supercharger on it with some bigger tires, and we're good.
Throw a fucking blower on it, brother."
America. That's what I got to say about that. America.
Yeah. No, I want to say that the big difference was they went from like the run flats in 09, and I think in 11 they put the Pilot Sport Cup 2s on it, which is God mode tire if you've ever driven on those. Yeah,
I've heard they are extremely sticky. They'll just
they're slicks with grooves.
What is it? It feels like a roller coaster probably driving the car.
Yeah, it's anything I've driven on Cup 2s is like it's on rails.
Yeah,
like even between that and a PS4S, which is a great tire. It's unreasonably fast, grippy.
I feel like it gives you a little more confidence for sure. It's confidence inspiring when you put those new tires on it. It's just like
it does. But I've never done like a lot of laps on both tires to compare. I've only done a lot on the regular Pilot Super Sports.
Okay,
but everyone that I talk to says that the Cup 2s wear faster, which makes sense because it's a softer compound, I believe. But yeah, it's like first couple laps, all right, you'll break that lap record, and then after lap 4 or 5, once they're properly hot, then they start to slow down or lose grip, I should say.
Yeah, that's what's happening is you're losing grip. Yeah, but I fix for the tires that you're buying, and I feel like for the price that you're getting them at, it's not bad the amount of times that you can just go balls out on the track and just really, really make the track your bitch.
Yeah.
In a sense.
Yeah.
Speaking of tracks, do we want to talk about Auto Club and what's going on there?
Yeah, we can go there. Yeah.
Yeah, because that one's it's been bugging me for a while ever since the last time I went to Auto Club and checked it out. I thought that was the last time they were going to have a track event there. But I don't know, because this article that we find here is saying that it was the February 26th race for NASCAR was supposed to be the last one, apparently. But I don't know if that's going to be... They're saying a huge commercial center is planned. But racing will still continue? So I don't know.
Here's the thing. I mean, I don't know anything about this right now. This is news to me. But I remember every year with Irwindale Speedway, just constantly... Yeah, man, next year it's going to shut down. Better, get to Thursday Night Thunder, which is the spectator drags.
Yep.
And then every year it ends up just being more people, and then there's it's new grandstands and with newly paved track. And it's hey man, aren't they supposed to knock this down? And it's I'll support my local track all day, but just you don't have to lie about it.
Yeah, that's mean.
But
that's
I don't think Fontana. I'm not saying Fontana's lying about it. I think Auto Club is definitely getting closed down. It seems a lot more serious, but it's weird. It's really weird.
So it says after it was finalized, it would allow for future development of about 433 acres of the approximate 522 acre site that is currently being used by the Speedway. So,
yeah, I can't imagine that they would keep the Roval and then just get rid of everything, make everything else a shopping center.
They said back in 2020, NASCAR had announced the intention to convert the Speedway to a 2-mile oval into a half-mile short track. So that was probably... There's a lot of things that they speculate.
So is it owned by NASCAR?
That's what it seems like. I believe... I don't know who it actually is owned by. I thought it was like Auto Club. I thought were like the main...
I would assume...
the main people, but if NASCAR is...
Auto Club owned...
NASCAR is calling shots, then
yeah,
we know who the real boss is. I guess maybe
I would assume a lot of their revenue comes from NASCAR, even if NASCAR doesn't own it. If they decide to stop doing races there, like that's got to cut out a big chunk of their revenue, man.
Oh yeah, and either
like,
they're going to
track days are only going to. I mean, they do charge a lot. Granted,
as we know. What was it? 7,500 without garages.
Yeah, and that's like for half a day, wasn't it?
That's half a day. It wasn't even a full day.
Yeah, what was it, like $20,000 for a full day with
it was 20
parking?
It was like about 25,000, and we only got 2 garages. Like what kind of?
Oh, that wasn't even with all the garages.
No, we didn't even get access to all of them.
God,
yeah, that was insane. So
yeah,
thanks to Auto Club for that. So I didn't waste my money on that.
They probably priced people out of renting it out, like for track days.
That makes sense because look at how much I paid for Laguna. Laguna was nothing compared to that.
Laguna wasn't that much.
It wasn't.
I expected it to be. The problem with Laguna really isn't the pricing for the track days. It's the fact that you can't be over 90 decibels, which there are cars from the factory that are shooting over that.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I would hear stories about stock GT350Rs breaking the sound regulation and then getting called into the pits.
That's wow.
Yeah.
Well, you know what car won't have that problem? Is the C8, the Z06, because it's already been on the track and they didn't throw it off. So
yeah,
the 350R, that exhaust note is insane. The flat plane crank, oof.
Yes,
yeah, can't get away from those.
Anything that has a high pitched exhaust note is probably gonna get up there.
Yeah,
definitely. That's anything that's loud enough. But yeah, I mean, they should just have a welder down the street that welds on Laguna pipes. Have you ever seen Laguna pipes?
Yes, I've seen those big ones.
They literally call them Laguna pipes.
Yeah, because it's that's the only way you're able to drive.
Yeah.
That person would make a lot of money if he had something like that out there.
Yeah, that's a $1 million business, just being a welder near Laguna Seca.
Oh, it really is. This is insane. But, I mean, moving on from this, but I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like we have to take everything that these tracks say with a grain of salt. Just because of the fact that stuff might not happen exactly like they think it is. Because this was said a couple
we'll wait
months
to
ago.
see. I mean, like I said, I have hopes that it'll stick around. I mean, at the end of the day, it'll suck to see it go.
Definitely.
But it is what it is. I mean, we can't sit here and start paying, $600 for track days.
Yeah, no.
It's getting up there, man.
Is it really?
I remember, when I first started getting into going to the track, it was you could pay $200 to get into a track day.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's the case now.
Yeah. The last time I was interested in going to Auto Club track day, I remember it being, I want to say $300.
Okay.
Which if it's including food and whatever, not bad. It is what it is. And then I heard someone say that they, oh man, I can't remember what. I don't want to say the wrong name of the company who's doing the track day because I don't want to throw anyone under the bus if it's not there. Anyways, I remember them saying it was $450. And I was like, within a span of a couple of years, it's gone up that much.
That's insane.
That's insane, bro.
No, and I feel like people would pay it up to the amount that it's at now. Because, I mean, you still see people out there, but to be honest with you, it's not as many as it used to be. Track days would be full when you used to go.
But it's nicer when you do have less people on the track because, I mean, especially for newer people and really experienced people. People in the middle, it is it's not that big of a deal. But when you're really experienced and you have just a crowded track and people who don't know what the hell they're doing,
Yeah.
I mean, and even in the higher run groups, you'll still get people who are idiots. You know, I mean, I've almost been in a couple accidents where people are doing just stupid shit.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. I think I remember the one that
You
you're talking
remember
about.
the video?
Auto Club.
Yeah, Auto Club.
Yeah, that was a good one.
God,
well, not good,
I mean,
but good because you didn't get hurt.
yeah,
So.
that was sketchy, is what it was.
Yeah, well, that track in general has a lot of sketchy turns, so I mean, it can get hairy real fast.
I feel like it's not the turns; it's just the thought of the wall being there. There's always the wall.
Yeah, I think that's everybody's
going in the
concern.
roval. It's just like, ugh.
And especially the speed that some of these dudes are going into it is insane.
Yeah. I mean, I was in it at like 145, which is scary, dude.
I feel like anything over 100 would be scary next to that because it's right next
just
to you, right?
It, yeah, and then the car's just all the weight of the car is leaning to that side. Yeah.
Oh man,
yeah, it's fun, but I've heard like stories of guys in like not even like race cars, like in like McLarens going 720S's going like 170 through that, and I'm just like, bro.
Alrighty then. Okay, so that is where I say holy shit.
Yeah.
Because that's insane to be carrying that much speed and to keep the car stable. Keep the car stable at that speed with that like angle. Because you're not straight. You're not straight.
No, not at all.
I haven't been on the track. But I would love to be on the track before they demolish or do whatever the fuck they're going to do to it.
You've never ridden?
I've never ridden on it.
Oh,
no,
okay.
no. I need a bucket list. Got to check it off the bucket list.
Yeah.
Speaking of things I have to check off the bucket list is going to more auctions. Okay.
Let's do the auction segment. This is fun, man.
I love it. Auctions are my favorite just because there's so many cars that you wouldn't expect to see at certain auctions.
All right, so what auctions do we got coming up?
So we got the one actually right now. I think you can, live stream it. January 4th to the 15th. Today's the last day for Mecum auction. And this one is in... and apologize if I fuck this up because I will brutally mess this up. But, yeah. Sound out word, huh?
Go ahead. Phonics.
Kissimmee, I believe. That's probably very wrong. So we're going to have to cut that part out.
What state is it?
I don't know. It doesn't even say the state. It's like I bet you it's a small city.
Let me see it.
Just a small city.
Yeah, I think it is Kissimmee.
It is? Okay. Because I felt like that was not the way I said it. But you know what? If I said it wrong, fuck you guys. If not, great. Great. Awesome. I said it right. But that's one thing you guys can make fun of me about. I'm going to mispronounce a few things here and there. Yeah. But getting back to the auction.
What the fuck is that even?
I don't know. Look it up. Look it up because I need to know where that's at so I can...
All right. What is the special featured car there? Or a couple of them, maybe?
You can go with the obvious one, the Ferrari F40. Everyone's going to go for that one. The resale red Ferrari F40. I love it.
Real original. No, I'm just kidding.
You're right.
Oh, who doesn't love an F40, man?
No.
Oh, it's in Florida.
Okay. All right. So Florida got some cool cars then, man. Because got to check this 1969 Hemi Daytona. It's like a brown color. It's pretty interesting. And that was one of the ones that sold. It was 6,000 miles.
Wow.
6,000 miles on this thing. So it was estimated for 1.3 to 1.6. But we check Instagram, and Mecum posted it about it that they sold it. It was one of their top cars that was for sale along with the F40.
Imagine the fucking ROI on that thing. I mean, originally it was probably like, what, $6,000 or something?
Yeah,
probably
less.
Probably less, but like $5,000.
Yeah, depending on what condition the guy bought it in. Or if
the guy's selling it for over $1 million.
So 1.43 million is what it sold for.
God. But like not driving it for all those years, it's just like, oh man, it's like trying to stay abstinent, you know? Oh
yeah, I could never do that. Yeah. That car would have had so many miles on it.
I would have driven the shit out of that car.
Yeah, it's too clean. It's too clean. Yeah. You know the one you can
6,000 miles.
You can eat food off of it. That's an issue.
6,000 miles in like over 50 years.
No, and it has the white stripe too, the Daytona stripe on the back. It's brown, has the white, even has the matching wheels as well. That's super clean.
All original.
Yes. 6,000
So
miles.
apparently, Kissimmee is 10 miles from Disney World.
Really? Okay.
So
it's not completely irrelevant.
It's known for being near a known place.
That's the best way you could explain it to someone that doesn't know like me.
Hey, we're going to go to Disney World. We're going to stay in Kissimmee. I don't want to stay at those fancy hotels over in Orlando. God, people are going to fucking hate me.
Oh, and a lot of people are going to love you. So it balances out.
It balances out.
Oh, I maybe this is the reason why it went for so much money. But it says professional restoration by Roger Gibson, formerly owned by David Spade.
Oh.
So that's
the
an
David
interesting
Spade
one.
provenance.
Yeah, alrighty then. Mr. Spade, you have good taste in cars.
It was an original Joe Dirt car.
Yeah, I could see that. Just take the wing off.
Yeah.
Take the wing off, and that's a Joe Dirt car for sure.
Nah, he'd leave the wing on.
I mean, yeah, but if you want to go real, like, hillbilly, poor people, you just rip the wing off and it looks like shit, but it's a fucking Daytona.
No, the most hillbilly shit is like having it duct taped on,
Okay, now you're getting into a different realm.
Wait, didn't he have a Daytona in that movie?
I kind of feel like he did, and that's why
He
I
did,
mentioned
man.
the no wing.
He did.
That's why I mentioned the no wing, because I feel like it didn't have a wing. Are you?
No, he had a wing on it. I'm
He
looking
did,
it up
really?
right now. Yeah.
Okay, you were right.
Holy shit. Yeah, I was like, when you said that, I was like, wait, David Spade, Joe Dirt, Daytona, there's a connection here.
And so another car that does not, I never thought would have went for this much money. It's ridiculous, but I'll tell you why after. This one went for, let me tell you the car, my bad. It's a 70 Pontiac GTO Judge. Yeah. So we want to guess what that one went for?
A 1970 Judge.
Convertible.
Okay. Miles?
Miles, it doesn't even...
Special color, maybe?
Well, here's the thing. It's a 1 of 7 with an automatic.
1 of 7 with automatic.
And it's a
Was it like a 3-speed auto?
gold winner.
3-speed auto?
It is a... Let me look at that.
Does it got a turbo 400, brother?
I think...
It does, doesn't it? Yeah, fucking you're right. It's a fucking
can't say
turbo
anything
400.
Because I hate that voice, but I love it. So
Because that's like every redneck's dream, man.
it is. It really is. Yeah, see,
Nah, man, everyone has a manual. Mine has the turbo 400. You can like bust wheelies on that thing.
Oh my god! Yeah,
that trans will take anything. That's trans take more of a beating than a redheaded step kid.
No, I was gonna say hooker, but yeah, I like that one better.
Wait, trans hookers?
Well, 2023, we're you gotta
cut it out.
You gotta accept everybody. That's why I'm throwing them in there, man. You're excluding them. What are you?
Anyways, I'm gonna guess. Fuck me.
No, thank you.
Wasn't asking. 500,000
For
the GTO, the Judge.
Yeah, no, and
Not for-
add another 500,000 to that one.
Million. Wow. Well, I mean, I didn't know the miles, so I'm just throwing
I didn't know
numbers out
either,
here.
so it doesn't look like they didn't disclose that info on the list because I'm looking at it right now, and it doesn't have anything miles wise, or doesn't seem to tell you the trends either. But yeah, it's really interesting to see all these cars from the 70s and 80s and stuff going for this much, especially muscle cars. They're not supercars.
I think what it is like the people who grew up with those cars on their wall are now entering retirement phase, and they're just like blowing their fucking wads,
Yeah, they're getting to that age where it's like it won't be enjoyable for them anymore, so they have to buy it now.
Yeah. It's like when we're old and retired, we're gonna be buying like C6 Corvettes and shit. Like,
oh yeah, one
like,
of us is gonna have
for like $500,000 for like this base Corvette.
Oh man.
Oh, it has 2,000 miles.
It's like a C6 Z06. Just
it was only one of 3 Victory Red Z06 is built on a Monday in 2007. You know? How they do that shit.
There are a lot of those people that and it's crazy that the people that know some of those things and
it has a white interior.
Okay, you're going.
It's a 3LT.
Oh my god!
And this one is, let me tell you, it's particularly special. It has 3 window switches. We've never seen that. 3 window switches.
Yeah, you know what you should be?
From the factory.
You should work at Mika and describe the cars for people because
Dude. Yeah.
you have the old white man voice.
What's that? Whoever the guy who's just been doing it, because you know the guy who's doing it now.
Oh,
I
yeah.
have no idea, but he has to have been doing it forever.
Yeah.
When that guy dies, man.
You know who I would like to be? I would like to be the guy that goes, oh, sold. I would like to be that guy. That's
Well, once, go twice.
Yep.
Just super fast.
I was like, I want your job.
Yeah. You're going to be up there with the big thing, the hammer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'll slam that shit down.
And I'm going to be walking around with the camera. Oh, come over here, Cheryl. Let's see. Let's pop this hood open. Oh, my gosh. Look at that gorgeous engine. We've got an LS7. 427 cubic inches. I love that guy, man. I don't know who that guy is.
Me
I love him,
neither,
though.
but his voice is it's pleasing.
Yeah.
You know when you just hear people's voice and it's like, you should be on a radio or you should be on a talk show or something.
Yes. I want you to be that guy.
Oh, man. I wish my voice was great for the radio because, I would already be on the radio. So getting back
Even better,
to the
you're
auction,
on a podcast.
Yeah, yep.
Hey.
Our own podcast.
Our
We
own.
can say whatever we want.
Yep.
So F40 is 10,000 miles, or 10,994 to be exact. Okay. Number 179 of the total 213 with the U.S. spec. So, and then you got the, Rosso Corsa red or whatever over the gray interior, but it was estimated to go for 3.7 to 4. So what do you think it's sold for?
Ooh. The last time someone told me an F1 was going to go for a certain amount of money, it went
F40.
for about... wait, what did I say?
You said F1.
I meant to say F40.
Long day.
Yeah, it's been a long day. I would say it went for... You said it was estimated between 3.7 and 4?
Yes.
Let's go 3.75.
Under 3.1.
Honestly, I should have shot under. I kind of had a feeling it was going to go for like 3.5 or less in my gut.
I was surprised that it actually went for, because an F40, people are going to pay a shitload of money. But for the estimation, I was surprised that it was under.
I'm not. That's a lot of money for any F40.
It is.
It's a lot of money.
But as we saw during the pandemic and everything, when everything was happening, people were paying that price. People were paying the premium to say that they had it. And that's what it was because nobody wanted to sell. None of the collectors wanted to sell things.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what it was.
I mean, man, there were driver F40s going for like close to just $1 million.
Yeah, that's...
So, I mean, those cars now, you got to think like something that went for like 1.2 is probably going to be worth close to $2 million.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
that's just something with miles on it, right?
Right. Yeah. No, you're right.
I would
about
like
that.
to see what a driver goes for in the past couple months.
And that's not...
I don't know how many have sold recently, but...
I don't know the number on that. We would need to look that up. But we have another auction that's always promising, no matter where it is. RM Sotheby's.
Oh, RM.
Oh, yeah, you know about them.
Hey.
You know about them.
Good guys. Yeah, that's all I got to say.
Hey, they auction a lot of really nice Porsches.
They definitely don't fuck anyone over.
Oh, definitely don't. Definitely not. They're the most legitimate people ever.
Yeah.
Said no one ever.
Every deal of theirs is legitimate.
I feel bad for these people that have their cars listed on here.
I don't. They're going to get a great price for their car, man. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Let's go through some of the... What kind of cars do we got? What do we got?
All right.
What's on the menu?
We got a red Lexus LFA.
I'm not buying. Who fucking cares, huh?
Yeah, I'm not, because, we all know that
I'm
one.
poor.
No money.
I'm poor.
Hey,
LFA.
That's
LFA.
something that we can agree on. There we go.
So we're Seikos.
There we go. The poor man's what? The poor man's Rolex?
Yeah, the poor
Right?
man's Rolex. So
All right,
that's what I
there you
call it.
Red Lexus LFA is going for $700,000 to $800,000.
Yeah.
This one is the
non Nurburgring, just regular.
Non Nurburgring.
Regular.
Yeah. This was Arizona, so this is January 26th. Has not happened yet. This is coming up, so we won't see anything sold for these cars.
It'll go for close to $1 million, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, this is interesting. Got a teal 1970 Ford Mustang Boss 429. It's going for $275,000 to $350,000. Do you think that's logical for that car? I mean, I feel like it should be a little less.
It'll go for mid-twos.
You don't think it would go for under?
Yeah, mid-twos, like 240,
okay.
250, I think.
Okay, that's the logical price.
I'm going to put that on there.
Ooh, you will like this one, I think. 2003 Aston Martin DB AR1 by Zagato.
Yes, please.
Yeah, it is
Yes,
very
please.
nice. Green one. It's like a light green with a beige interior.
Nice.
Going $275,000 to $325,000.
Worth it.
Yeah, that's a steal, I feel like.
Worth it.
I feel like that's a steal for a Zagato. Ooh, a DB6. $250,000 to $350,000. Estimated price. Got a lot of Aston Martins in this one, actually. Quite a few. Aston Martin Virage, a 92. $135,000 to $165,000.
Really? For a Virage?
Yeah, let's talk about that car. I feel like
That seems high.
yeah, it's extremely high because
everything is.
But the thing is, it's not one of the most sought after Aston Martins out there. There's so many other ones. I feel like that's like the like the ugly redheaded stepchild, like you're just recently talking about.
But you kind of want a Virage, don't you? Like if you're in the market for a DB9, you should really be looking at a Virage.
Yes and no, because personally, the way it looks isn't the same as which.
I think the proportions are better.
Really,
than a DB9.
Huh? See, I like the DB9 better.
Huh.
Personally,
Teach their own.
Looks better to me.
It's just a little too pudgy.
Hey,
and then the Vantage is a little too small. Like the Virage to me looks just like perfectly.
It's in the middle for you.
Yeah.
Okay. See, I'm okay with a little pudginess. I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with it too, but
like my Aston Martins, like I like my women. Don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that because I don't want that to come back and bite me. But
clip it.
Oh man! Oh, this is something you'll be interested in: a green and white 1968 Shelby GT500 KR Fastback. This is insane.
400,000.
No, 140 to 175,000 is estimated, but I feel like it's going to go.
That
for
seems
more.
awfully low. There must be something like high mileage or something on it.
Okay, then this is when you start getting into the big boys. Carrera GT silver, of course. Let's see the mileage on this one: 1.2 to 1.4 for a silver CGT.
There's just mirrors that seem low. Must be a driver.
It is low. I feel like
is there
it is very low.
over 30,000 miles on it?
12,000 miles.
Okay. I mean, yeah. Huh. I feel like they spiked. They were at like, remember they were like at $600,000-700,000 for a little bit, and then they went to like 1.5.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere.
I found that Corvette I was telling you about earlier. Remember I had told you about it?
Oh, the C3.
Yes. So, 69 Corvette Stingray ZL1 convertible. 2.6 to 3 million. Get out of town, man.
Well,
pack your bags.
You're going to get out of town because you're going to be the only guy in town with it. You're going to be the only guy in the fucking, probably a country.
Oh, my God.
How many? There's like 3 of them? 4 of them?
There was 3 of them. Well, technically 2. Technically 2 because there's only... I was reading the article and it was saying something like one of them was being tested and it got fucked up.
Oh.
And the other 2, I think they kept one, and then the other 2 that they had are those ones that like people were buying, like that were on the market technically.
There's one in the museum or something?
There is one in a museum. Yeah, I don't know if this is the one. I don't think it is because I feel like it'd be going for a lot more. Yeah, it says one of 2 factory 1969 ZL1 Corvettes.
Jeez.
So that means there's only 2 out there for sale. And one of them is probably in hiding.
Not just for sale, it exists.
Yeah.
I wonder where the other one's at. Some guy's hoarding it, or...
Yeah, probably. I would.
Or it's just fucking sitting in someone's front yard.
Barn find.
Growing grass.
Yeah.
That's the worst when you see that.
And, I mean... It
makes you wonder, like, where all these cars go, you know?
Yeah, and you get these people that, like... I've heard of stories where people want to buy the cars and no, I'm keeping it. Well, why are you keeping it?
Well, I'm going to restore it, and then you drive by 5 years later, and it's in the same spot with more grass on it.
There's a second F40 for sale. Now I don't know what
Lower?
the hell is it with the F40s, but no, it's higher in price, 2.2 to 2.8.
That's lower.
What the other F40? Oh, it was lower. The other F40 was 2.8 to like 3 or something like that, right? It's like 2.
You said 3.7 to 4 was the estimate.
That's right. You're right. My bad. Display is 19,697 kilometers, so 12,200 miles.
Bit of a driver for an F40. Here's the thing, man. There's a lot of fucking F40s out there.
Too many.
Yeah, like to be paying that much for them. Aren't there close to 2,000?
I believe there are, especially the US spec ones. I believe there are about that much.
That's crazy. I mean, yeah. I just don't know if I'd pay that much for a car where there's like over 1,500 of them. If I'm going to spend over $1 million, which I'm not because I don't have over $1 million, but if I'm going to spend over $1 million on a car, it's got to be something that fucking no one else has.
Yeah.
If I pull up to a Cars and Coffee and I see another one there and I spent 1.7, whatever the fuck they're asking for this, I'm going to be mad.
Yes.
Like, not a coordinated effort. I just show up and it's like you ever like show up to dinner and you're meeting friends and they're wearing the same shirt as you.
Oh.
It's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah, you instantly want to go back like, I wish I had my closet here.
I wish I could change and you just leave.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. You don't leave, but like...
Oh, I would.
Yeah, but it's the same thing with F40. Like, if you're spending that much on a car, like, you're spending it for the experience. Yes, I understand that. I'm 100% behind that.
Yep.
But you're also spending it for the exclusivity. Because the reality is, like, you can buy so many cars that are close to that, like, are not going to be even half as much.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. There's so many cars on that list, though. I feel like you kind of can't list them all.
You can get into like a 997 GT2 or even a 996 GT2 for under, 300? Under 200 for 996?
I've seen them go for about like 180,000. I've seen some being sold for.
For a 6.
Like
a 997 is going to be a little more, but still,
997.
Still, like, you get that rear drive. Yeah, it's rear engine, but it's not mid-engine. It doesn't have the provenance of an F40, but like, it's a boosty, rear-wheel drive, manual, raw, you know? And I don't know. I'd also feel a lot less shitty if I crashed a 997 GT2 as opposed to crashing an F40.
But if you crash an F40...
Which, by the way, I think GT2s are even rarer than F40s.
That sounds about right. It's just because...
I'd be willing to bet that they are.
We need to look... Yeah,
I'm going to look up
that
production
please.
numbers.
Please look that up.
There's no way, man.
That's a very interesting topic. I would love to... Yeah.
Should I look up a 997?
Let's go for 997 first. Look that up and tell me what you find.
Yeah, I feel like there's not a lot of GT2s. Okay, 2007 through 2009, there was 1,242.
Okay.
Now, let's look up F40 production numbers. Okay, there's 1,311. That's actually less than I thought there were. I thought there was like 1,500 or plus.
I thought there was too. That sounded like...
That's still more than the GT2s.
No, it is. Yeah, and it's... You know what it is? You know what it is. It is because we have this thing in our heads. Because all these photographers and people in the car industry talk about the F40 being, oh, it's so rare, you know? And then you look and it's like, well, no, look at the numbers, guys. look at the fucking numbers.
I think the reality is you got to drive one.
Well, yeah.
But I can't see it being worth that much more.
There's no way it is. Because I feel like the Porsche is the best bang for your buck in that situation. Like, you're telling me I can possibly pay less for something that's just as rare or more rare than the F40, and you're going to go buy an F40? No way. I would spend my money on a 997 or 996. But 997 king, and then 996 a second. And F40 is just irrelevant in my eyes. But I know I'm going to get a lot of shit for that if the people that love F40s.
I wouldn't say irrelevant. I just overhyped, in my opinion. I've always felt
it is overhyped.
Way.
It was awesome in the 90s, early 2000s.
It's still cool.
It is, but it's not the same.
It's overrated.
The same effect as it used to. Overrated, exactly. That's the best way to put it.
And if any F40 owners disagree, we'll be glad to debate you.
Or previous
on the podcast.
F40.
I know a guy.
Yeah. Love to have that.
He
person
actually
on
used
there.
to think they were overrated until he owned it.
Yeah,
But
that changed.
But I don't know. He's wishy-washy. I think he will say something and then go back on it. As far when it comes to like the cars he's liked.
Oh, for sure.
Because he's just like driven so many cars and owned so many crazy like one-off cars.
Too many.
Yeah, but I mean that's good to have someone like that.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
around you because you learn stuff from them that you'll never learn from anyone else.
No.
Because like driving something and owning it's two completely different things.
Like actually driving it. Like we're not talking about, oh, I'm just gonna go for a canyon drive. Like, no, I'm gonna go pick up some groceries. I'm gonna go get some barbecue food, and then I'm gonna go on a canyon drive.
Canyon drive counts. What doesn't count is driving it in a parking lot and like.
So you're talking about half of the
valets or like. No offense to valets, but like, I drove 3 Huracans today. It's like, no, you parked 3 Huracans.
Yeah.
You didn't drive 3 Huracans.
Yep.
Come on now.
That's so true. Like, I technically can't say I drove an Aventador.
Yeah, I mean, that you didn't really drive.
No, yeah. I backed it up.
Yeah. Which, I mean, legally you were like 14, I think, when you drove that, parked that car.
Yeah.
But, yeah, dude. What should we say? Should we do the budget challenge?
Yeah, you know what? Let's do that.
Speaking of cars and budgets.
Yeah,
that's
perfect.
So this is something I used to do on my old podcast that I used to have, Driver Mod Podcast. Shout out to the boys. No longer a thing, but we had some cool segments. One of them was called the Budget Challenge, and we'd set parameters and then see what we'd buy. So parameters for this week: 2 cars. You got to own 2. No less, no more. $50,000. They can be new or used. They don't have to be new. Okay.
All right. That's perfect.
It has to be something you would be able to find on the internet.
Okay.
So
I already have my first choice.
Before you gave yours.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I just want to say, if you're out there, play along with us. If you're on, we'll probably put this on YouTube, right?
We'll put it on YouTube for sure.
Whatever we put it on,
we can put this clip
comment,
on Instagram as well.
Comment your 2-car garage for under $50K, new or used. All right. So what's yours?
So my first one is gonna have to be, you know me. I mean, I used to have part of one in my room, but I'm gonna say a C4.
Okay.
C4 Corvette. They're going for about 20 to 30,000 right now. So I mean, that's a good majority
for a clean one.
Yeah,
a very clean one.
Yeah, for a very clean one, about 20 to 25,000, maybe 30 if you want to get that really pristine condition one.
You can get a ZR1 for 30 right now, I think.
You could. You're right. You probably could. Yeah, but I'm just gonna get base C4. Basic stuff.
Nice.
So what would be your first choice? Let me get my second choice ready.
Okay, you don't have a second choice yet?
No.
Okay.
I need my second choice. Go ahead.
So, I mean, I already got it in my garage. C5. Although I think to save a little money for my other car, since 50 is my strict budget in this case, I'd probably go with the coupe, manual coupe. FRCs cost a little more. And Z06s are like 30 grand right now, which is insane. I remember when they were like 18, 20 for a good one.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think I'd go with a 02 to 04 coupe manual. I'd try to get an Electron blue, gray interior if you can find it for. I mean, I think you can probably find one for under 20K.
Oh, definitely.
So that would leave me 30.
Yep.
I don't quite have enough for a M6, but I can get a high mileage F10 M5, which would cause me so many problems most likely. But
it would be nothing.
It would
but
be
problems.
An awesome daily. It would be so fucking cool.
And that's something you're contemplating right now too.
I'm actually looking at a Grand Coupe, M6 Grand Coupe.
All right.
But yeah, price is a little bit higher than 30K but it's also not a shitty example. So
definitely not.
But yeah, F10 M5, C5 coupe would be a cool 2-car, 1-2 punch.
Definitely.
especially now that I'm a daddy, I'm a father.
For
I need
sure.
something with a roomy backseat, safe, a little more modern.
You got to be able to take the little guy around when you take him to Cars and Coffee eventually.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Got to have enough room to throw his Cheerios in the back and make Daddy's car all dirty, right?
I can't wait.
Yeah.
That's what Mommy's car's for.
Oh, there you go. Perfect.
All right, what
And
about you?
You're going to be very shocked on my second car, actually.
Am I?
And yeah, because this is the car that I wanted back in the day, like back when we used to hang out with your buddies, with Lewis and stuff like that. And I'm gonna say RX-7, and I know if this actually happened. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I would have to. I like that body, I like that style.
That's such a weird combo.
It is,
FC
right?
And a C4.
Yes, and I told you wouldn't. It came out of left field, I think, for me. But I feel like that would leave me with enough room for all the fixing things that I would have to do to that car. And the C4. Because to be honest with you, I would not want to work on a C4 motor. Have you seen those things?
Send it to Frank.
Frank, if you're listening to this?
Frank, you're our guy.
Frank was the one that actually made me realize that buying a C4 is not the move. Because
didn't he tell you just to find one with no engine and then LS swap?
He said,
wasn't he just like, to avoid most of the problems, let's just LS swap one?
Yeah, he said something along the lines of, just put your brother's motor in there and it'll be better.
Because at the time I was thinking about LS3 swapping my Corvette.
Yes, you were.
Yeah.
That would have been cool.
I still kind of want to. I don't know.
I would, especially if you're not going to drive it that much. I feel like something like that.
I don't drive at all very much anymore, but...
Well, right now, that'll change soon, like we talked about in the beginning of the podcast.
Yeah.
That's going to change soon, so...
Yeah. But yeah, if... quick shout out to Frank, man, because Frank's the boy.
Oh, yeah.
If you have a Corvette, especially any kind of modern Corvette, hit up our boy Frank. We'll probably... I don't know if we can link...
I'll link his Instagram and his website.
Yeah.
In the bio. But
Frank's Corvettes, man.
Frank's Performance. He works on all Corvettes.
Yeah.
All Corvettes. But he's the man.
Yeah.
He's the man.
You used to race them.
Yeah. He didn't just build them. He didn't just build it. Well, he also built them and helped repair them when he was racing. When he first got into it.
He's a maestro.
Yeah.
He's anything I thought I knew about Corvettes, he either confirmed it or taught me more on top of it. So he's an encyclopedia, like when it comes to that kind of stuff, like fixing Corvettes and stuff.
Definitely.
And modifying.
I thought you were the Mr. Encyclopedia of Corvettes, but when I met him, I was like, oh, I met Michael's
Think about it. Like I've owned 2 so far, and he's probably worked on thousands.
Oh,
so
yeah, you can't.
Yeah, you can't compare.
No.
And he's owned more than 2. I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah, he owns. Yeah, he was even.
I don't know how many, but I know just in the time I've known him, I think he's owned 3.
Yeah, he has that C6. He just I think a year ago he bought that red C6.
Yeah,
and he was building that for the time attack stuff for the Corvette Challenge.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that's what he was building that for. But Frank's Performance. I believe he's in Huntington Beach. If anything,
he moved to shop already.
Yeah. He was in Santa Ana. He used to be in Santa Ana. Anybody that knows me, I used to throw Corvettes and Coffee events. That was another thing I forgot to mention in the beginning of the podcast. That will be coming back soon.
Corvettes and Coffee coming
Corvettes
back.
and Coffee. Making a comeback after a year.
Hell yeah. All right.
Being in hiatus, man.
All right. I got to put some new mods on the Vet and bring it out.
Hopefully this brings more, I need to actually work on my Vet. I need to bring it out.
Yeah.
Hopefully that'll get you in that headspace.
Yeah. It is already.
No, well, it's working then. My plan is working. Cool.
Speaking of race cars, let's talk about IMSA. I heard there's some new cars coming to IMSA.
Oh, God, plenty of new cars. And the one that sticks out to me is the Cadillac, the V, the new one. So it says the step up from the DPI. So it comes of the VLMDH prototype is designed to take on both Daytona and Le Mans. That's pretty big for them to say that. I mean, for anybody to say that it's going to take on both of them. Because I mean,
Cadillac was pretty dominant in Le Mans prototype, weren't they?
They were, yeah. For the most part, I remember them being pretty up there.
It was like them, Nissan, Mazda, I think.
And you know who's making a comeback now? Speaking of racing in IMSA, is Toyota.
Toyota, nice.
Toyota, they've
Good.
been
It'd
like
be cool to see Toyota.
third, second place these past 5
They have
races.
a lot of history in endurance racing, so it'd be cool to see them come to IMSA. For
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. That would be interesting.
Well, speaking of Cadillac, though.
Oh, Cadillac.
F1.
Cadillac, I love you.
Andretti, Cadillac.
That I hope that
Pretty
F1
crazy.
actually does that. I really hope they go through with that.
I hope everything finalizes.
Because there's been speculations.
Hey, man. All I got to say is, Total Wolf, man.
Whew.
Watch out. Watch out, bro.
Woof woof, man. It's coming for you.
The V-Dog's going to bring it.
Oh, man. Yeah, but that V, though, that's going to be in IMSA is naturally aspirated V8. So I wonder how that's going to sound. I'm curious to hear the sound.
It's going to sound mean as fuck.
Yeah. But you know what? Speaking of the best sounding cars in racing is Porsche. Porsche is coming out with their new car, the 963. I think it looks insane, actually.
So it's the next gen prototype, or
So
is it like
for
replacing
new factory
911?
prototypes.
Oh, okay.
No. These are for the prototypes.
Okay, so this is replacing the 919.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And that one has a lot of the... It just looks like a better version of it, you know. But I'm sure there's a lot more to it that we'll see, you know, in the coming...
919's extremely
couple weeks.
fast.
Yeah. So I don't know what the hell they did with this car, because that was ungodly fast.
Yeah.
I remember the times on the Nurburgring was something that we would never even think we would see.
It was close to... I want to see... God, what track
I'm
was
going to look
it?
that up right now.
I think there's a track where it beat F1 lap times.
Really?
Yeah. I want to say there was like... it wasn't like the regulated version of it, though.
Uh-huh. Okay.
It was like a 919 something. But
So the 919 on the Nurburgring did a 519. a 519.
That's insane.
A 519 shouldn't be said in the same sentence as the Nurburgring. It shouldn't.
No.
Oh, man. Oh, here's what you're talking about. Porsche's new 919 Hybrid Evo Le Mans car is faster than an F1 car.
Yeah.
After retiring, yeah. It's the Evo version. And that was the version.
That one's a cheat code, though. That's like not something you can even use in real racing. It's
Hey, man.
just...
I played it in Forza. All right. So I know how that fast that is.
Did you race it against the Renault F1 car?
I didn't. But you know what? You have the Xbox, so I think we need to fix that.
1v1 it, bro. F1 all day.
Hey, you know what? I'm going to hire a driver, and his name is Mr. Calder McWhinney. Even though it's a video game.
Hey, we're playing on controller, buddy.
No.
I've beat real race car drivers on controller. I'll do it again. Calder, I'm calling you out, bro. No simulators. This is not real life, okay? For real life, you'll beat me. I don't give a fuck. This is fucking Forza, okay? You're using the controller.
Well, speaking of the cars that are, you know, that you were mentioning that his car can't even go on the road with your car anymore. So you can't even do drives with him anymore. He's gonna have to the Shelby truck.
Oh, what a bummer! Yeah,
We need
700 horsepower truck. God, what sucks.
But yeah, we will have.
He'll be fine. He'll be just.
Yeah.
Calder doesn't really care as much as I do about driving on the street.
No.
And I don't care as much as he does about driving on the track. We both enjoy both things, but
Yes. We will have him on the podcast though very soon.
Awesome.
Very soon, so we can talk about
That'll be fun.
his build. He definitely one of the only C7s, Z06s actually. I know he regrets that choice, but we can talk about that then. But yeah, he has one of the most insane Corvettes. So I look forward to doing that podcast with him very soon.
Yeah, he's as far as C7s go. I mean, I can't think of any builds that I've seen that are more insane.
No.
I mean, it's just no expense spared, buddy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know that car has cost you way more money than I'll ever spend on a car modifying it.
Yeah.
But fuck, that thing is worth it. That thing is sick, man. And everybody who knows this car says the same thing. Like,
oh, yeah. Well, they're going to be saying the same thing for a while once he actually brings it out to something. So we have plans on him bringing it out to a Corvette Fest event. Not a Corvettes and Coffee.
Bro, I want to see him bring it to Pikes Peak. Is that still a thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's still a thing. Right now...
Yeah, we can cut that out if we have to. But
No. We can talk about it. It's fine.
Okay.
It's just... We don't have an exact date, so we don't know if it's going to be this year or not. So I just don't want to say anything about that.
Okay.
But Pikes Peak, In Gear Media is coming for you. I'm ready, man. But maybe let's close it up now, and we can just talk about more maybe of the future things to come from In Gear and what you want to see. What do you want to see from us? What are you thinking?
Just staying consistent with the podcast. More reviews, obviously.
Yes.
More like event coverage would be cool.
Definitely.
Yeah, just like the podcast is right now is my excitement. Like,
yeah, it's very fun.
Yeah, I'm excited to do this. I'm excited to have guests and just talk. Talk shit. It's always fun.
Yeah,
it's free form.
Yeah,
nothing too serious.
That's why I like our podcast style. It's because, like you said, it's free form. But we don't care what we say. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, we're not tied down by anything.
No, no, it's nice.
Yeah, the reality is, like, if any of the stuff that I say even remotely offends anybody, they're being soft, because I'm not being offensive, I don't think.
Oh, not at all. I think out of anybody, I'd be the most offensive, and I've kept it pretty cool today. So
yeah,
that's a win for me.
There's no like controversial.
No,
it's all cars. We're all having fun.
Exactly. We like to laugh.
Yeah.
We like to drive fast cars.
Yeah,
or ride in fast cars. I like to do both.
I'm more of a driving guy myself.
I don't know why, but something about the thrill of having your life in somebody else's hands just, gets me going.
It's a little weird.
Oh, it's very weird, but yeah. Like we said, you'll get to know me a little more if you don't already know me.
Yeah. We're a couple of kooks, so.
Oh, man. You're making it sound real old now.
I'm old. I feel old.
Let's close it up at that then. Kooks.
All right. We at an hour?
We're at an hour and 11 minutes. We did solid.
All right. Solid, man. Yeah. I think we can call it a pod.
All right. Well, if you guys are listening, thank you for listening throughout the whole thing. We have some interesting guest podcasts coming up. Daniel will be here with us next time, so we'll have an extra person. Also need to get an extra mic.
Yeah.
But having said that, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, In Gear Media, along with our Instagram, which is In Gear Media, same thing. And if you just want to stay up to date, just make sure to subscribe and follow both of those accounts. And we will have more accounts such as Spotify and stuff like that, and TikTok. Eventually, we'll get those up there. We're getting with the trends. Got to get with the trends.
Yeah. Got to stay with the cool kids.
Yeah. But having said that, thank you for listening, and have a great night.
Peace.
Later.